Today we're doing drums. I've got two different clients that I'll be doing some remote drum recording for here in my home studio in Nashville. I wanted to bring you along because we have two modern, pretty cool references that might be interesting or helpful to you if you're a drummer or recording drums yourself and you want to see how we go about this whole process. Now, again, this is a reference that the client gave me saying, make the drums sound like this. Artist number one is Ella Langley. The song is called Choosing Texas. Reference number two from client number two is an artist called Somber, and the song was called, what, 12 to 12, I think? So two very different types of music, but in some ways, kind of a similar drum sounds. Now, I mentioned that we're in my studio here outside of Nashville. This is a house. So we've basically converted different rooms in this house into different recording spaces that sound differently. So number one, we're gonna show you which space we're gonna use. Two, we're gonna show you the mic setup. We're gonna show you which drums we pick. We're gonna try out different sounds, what we do to the drums to actually get those sounds that we want for the clients. And then we're gonna see how we switch from one sound to the other, record both songs. Also, of course, shout out to Sweetwater for sponsoring this video. We'll show you some of the stuff that we're using. If you wanna pick it up, check out the links in the description. Let's go. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna listen to the actual songs we're gonna do. I'm gonna download the files, and then we're gonna get our Pro Tools sessions made for each session, and simultaneously we'll have to get our input sheet, pick out the mics we're gonna use, pick out the drums that we're gonna use. All right, so the first artist we're gonna do, her name is Caryn Dixon. This is an artist we've worked with in the studio before. Producer is Gabe Neal. Gabe used to rent the room upstairs, so I know the tracks are always gonna be good. Okay, I'm gonna actually just make the Pro Tools session in the moment so I can drop markers while I listen. So we'll call this Where I've Been. Okay, so I'm gonna import my demo into this session first. Shift Command I, boom, convert. We can get our click locked in. We're gonna go 158 here. Reason we want to do this is just when I'm drumming, I'll have a monitor next to me so I can see the cues. And I want to know when drums come in, when the sections are changing. It's likely a pretty standard arrangement, but I just want to knock two birds out with one stone. Here's how you know I'm a genius. We're listening to the no drums bounce. And then we're going to pull in the one with the drum reference. Okie dokie. This will make a little bit more sense. So drums in the pre. Okay, so now this session, we've got it mapped out. We know what's coming in, when it's going out. We can hear the parts. I've got a feel for the drum sound. Choosing Texas by Ella Langley is the reference. So I'm gonna just check this real quick. I love that sound. Really small room, booth, drum booth, tight, fat, low tuned, very gentle hitting, real taking it easy, which allows us to like gain up the mic pre's a bit and really make the drums like sing. It's kind of Fleetwood Mac kind of vibe, but fatter and way more low end. All right, so this is the room that we'll do the drums in, literally a bedroom, but as may or may not be able to tell by walking in here, it's quiet. It's very close. We've got all these panels on the ceiling, on the wall, and then I have these gobos surrounded by the kit so we can get that drum booth tight, intimate, really full sound. The room is step one to getting that sound. Step two is using drums that sound like that. I think this gets massively overlooked by people when they're learning recording. I think they give more credit to the thing that they know less about, which is like mic placement and processing and stuff, but it's real simple. If you want your drums to sound a certain way, use drums that sound that way. So, all right, so we've got the kick here. We put some Coles ribbons up over the top. We'll probably just use the other mics that are on here. We've got Tom mics from Loudon Audio, SM57, tried and true on snare top. There's a 414 copy underneath. And then this is the FET 47 from Warm on the out. Once I hear it through the mics, we'll start figuring out if I want to change heads or do any tuning changes. You can kind of start, but I think we're in a zone that's a good starting point with the drums. And one of my favorite things Aaron Sterling said is like, all that matters is what it sounds like through the microphones.
I am hyper obsessed with only caring about what's in the microphones.
We've got microphones up. We've picked some drums. Hopefully this is in the right neighborhood. We'll see about cymbals. I might change the hi-hats, but we'll listen through mics first and then decide, because it could be perfect. So let's go. Ike, do me a favor and give me a little bit of kick drum here. That sounds excellent. Let's do a little kick snare. Add some hi-hat in there. Rack tom. Floor tom. Couple changes. I tuned the snare drum down even lower. It sounds pretty terrible if you're just playing it sitting here, but through the mics it sounds perfect. I scooted over the kick drum mic a little more towards the hole. I'm still not totally sold on this kick drum. Fortunately, the drum part on this is so simple that we can actually do a couple takes and swap things, and it's not a huge amount of time or trouble. So we're going to do one more stab with this, and then I'm going to decide whether or not the kick drum's cool or not. I mean, the kick drum sounds great. The 22, it's just whether or not it's like with a hole or without a hole. So currently there is a hole, and we're just using the kick out, and I'm using a very soft beater on the bass drum pedal. I'm going to do a pass like this, and we'll see how it goes. I also took all the cymbals off because there's basically no cymbals except for hats. And then there's a couple cymbal hits that are like upbeat hits, and we're going to literally overdub those over this beat because it's going to be such a tight, fat thing. I think it'll sound really, really nice. So we'll take a stab at this and see how it sounds.
Those roots don't hold me down, but I'll be back around. With my wings wide open, riding the wind, got a lot to see and the rules to bend. Ain't a home, I won't try to pretend that I know where I'm from, I just know where I've been. I don't know where I'm from, I just know where I've been.
All right, now we're in the drum room. I just wanted to quickly give you a little glance of how this wound up for the first session. I have these, I think these are 3-foot gobos from Music City. They're all from Music City Acoustics, but these really tightened up this space. And then I have this big, I think 4-foot or 5-foot one in front of the kit. So when I'm sitting here playing, it sounds so dialed. Obviously the room already has a bunch of treatment. So takeaway here, the drums all sound exactly how they should, but all of this stuff around the drums, the room we're in is literally it's a bedroom covered in treatment. And then we also have a rug under the drums, have these gobos around the drums. If you come over here and look on top of the drums, you can see we have bandanas baffling the drums so that they're very short, not a lot of resonance, not a lot of ring to the drums. They just want to almost like transient only. The bass drum, we wound up actually switching to the 22-inch with a hole because the one without the hole just didn't feel right. And sometimes, you know, I'm like, when I'm doing sessions like this, if it doesn't feel right or it doesn't feel close enough, I literally would just swap it with another one because you'll get there faster. And this one felt really great. One of the keys to making this sit right in that other session was actually the beater that we used on the kick pedal, which is this Danmar felt pedal or felt beater that's felt all the way around. The way that that thing sounds when it hits the batter head just instantly did what we were looking for that song. So as far as that Ella Langley sound, this is what did it. It was the room, these drums, these cymbals tuned this way, played very, very gently on that song. Now we're moving on from Caryn Dixon. So I'll put links to Caryn down below if you want to check her out. The next artist literally has published no music yet. This has been a side project for one of the members from Mr. Wives, and the project is called Don't Do It. Mark from Don't Do It gave me the reference of a song called 12 to 12 by an artist named Somber. So we're gonna listen to just a tiny little bit, hopefully like YouTube doesn't freaking copyright the video, so we can hear the drums. And then I have the bounce here from Don't Do It. This is what it sounds like. So these are like MIDI drums, VST drums that he's done on the... So we're gonna go for that kind of sound with this as the reference. So just big, straight, 4 on the floor, dead, fat, crunchy sounds. Now we just did the Ella Langley thing, so we're gonna make a couple adjustments because what I'm listening for as the drummer engineer here is the drums on the Ella Langley thing did not have a lot of punch to them. Well, I mean, they're punchy, but there's not a lot of definition, let's say, to the kick drum, right? So this is a drum sound where you are gonna want more detail and more punch on the kick drum specifically, right? We just used a kick out pretty much on the first song. So this one, we're gonna stick a mic inside of the kick drum. We're gonna adjust our mic setup. I'm gonna pull this demo into Pro Tools, and then we'll import our tracks and just adjust our levels. And we may even do a little more EQing. We'll see how it turns out. Let's put the mics on the drums first. Now we're gonna kick things up for the Don't Do It session with the Somber reference. So the plan to go from this to that is gonna be very subtle but impactful changes. So number one, we're gonna add a kick in mic. We're gonna use a D12, and I'm gonna stick that thing inside, like in there pretty deep. And that will get a nice detail on the kick sound. We may change the beater on this. In fact, I'm pretty certain we'll change the beater on the pedal, which will also impact the sound. I also want to change this hi-hat mic. We'll probably get something with a little more brighter sound, some sort of condenser. We'll get it up, we'll kind of make those couple changes, listen to it in context. Let's get the mic set up first, and then we'll listen, get our levels, and see how it sounds. All right, so let's move some of this stuff out of the way. I'm gonna pull this gobo back first. Cool thing about these is they're on wheels, so it's very easy to move things around. Now I have some space to get down here at this kick drum. Front head is a coated ambassador, and we have like a little half blanket inside and a kick pillow. This is our microphone we're gonna use for the kick in. This is a vintage D12E. You can use whatever. I'm just biased to this mic on the inside of a kick drum. So that's our kick in D12E, kick out FET 47. All right, we're back in the control room. So since this is a new song, I just made the new session. The song's called Dorothy. We're gonna pull in the track data from our last session. So we're gonna do a shift option. I'm in Pro Tools here. So I'm gonna pull in the session data here, and we'll do the click and the master, boom. So now we're started off with all the tracks that we want. I'm gonna arm my tracks here. Okay, so we got the drum sounds for this song, Dorothy. This is what they sound like as of now. I just played something. Here's a reference. Mission accomplished. Pretty damn good. Time to actually make it happen.
Back to the place I know I come from. After 10 years on the fade.
Thank you, Mark, for having me, and thank you, Gabe Neal, producing the Caryn Dixon song. Thanks for hitting me up. If you guys want, you can reach out on my website if you're interested in this, or if you want to learn how to record drums, how we do it, check out the Epic Drum recording course down in the description. And of course, thank you to Sweetwater for sponsoring the video. Couldn't do these videos without them, so big shout out to them. Check out the links in the description. Hit the like button. We'll see you guys in the next one.